Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, I want to thank you for coming out tonight. Just as a reminder, this is why we're all here on Easter. And bear with me 1 second here. I apologize. Of course, my computer doesn't want to cooperate with me for a second here.
On the investigation. Summer. I'm Leslie Earhart with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Numerous local, state, and federal agencies are here in Hawkins County assisting in the search for 5-year-old Summer Wells. Here's the latest on the investigation. Summer was reported missing from her home in the 100 block of Ben Hill Road at around 6:30 p.m. on June 15th. She was reportedly last seen wearing gray pants, a pink shirt, and was possibly barefoot. At this time, the circumstances of her disappearance remain unclear, which means investigators have to explore all possibilities. Teams have searched from the air as well as on the ground, combing through thick and steep terrain.
We also have the investigators following every lead that comes in on TBI find, and also the ones called into Central Dispatch. Every lead is important to us, and we follow every one. We still want to encourage the public and community, if they know something or see something, then they need to make us a call, and they can remain anonymous.
We continue to hold out hope that Summer will be found safe. Anyone with information regarding her whereabouts is asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND or send an email to tips@tbi.tn.gov.
Ladies and gentlemen, and once again, gentlemen and ladies, thank you for coming out and sitting down and spending some time with me on Easter. Happy Easter to all that do celebrate Easter. And I want to thank everybody for being here. I'm going to take a moment and say hello to everybody. Palm Patrol and Kathy Kniffen, you said hello to me before the stream started. If you're with me, hello, how are you? Find Summer's Truth. I believe you joined me right at when I was beginning today. Who said what? Thank you for coming out and happy Easter to you. Kathy Kniffen, yes, please. Thank you very much. Hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell if you have not already. I would love to see my channel be over 1,000 subs, but that still does not mean that I'm going to go ahead and hit that monetization button like other channels have. I don't criticize them from doing so. It's just a decision that I make that sub button and you liking the videos, it means that you agree with me and you believe I am on the right track of information that needs to be put out there about Summer and what has gone on in the past 2 years. Cosplay, thank you very much. And I know Carrie is in here as well. Thank you for coming, both of you. Truth Finder, happy Easter to you. Thank you for coming up. Bailey, thank you very much. Absolutely justice for Summer. Annabelle Roma, thank you for coming out. And let's see here. The shrimp is ready and the conversation begins. Absolutely. Kathy, I wish I had some shrimp today because that would be delicious. Isa Brown, thank you very much. Happy Easter to you as well. Thank you for coming out. Oreo, long time no see. How are you doing? HDC, that's me. Thank you very much for coming out. Appreciate it. So I felt tonight was a good night to start with the TBI interview. Not the TBI interview, rather the press release that Leslie Earhart had done. I'm going to make a statement that's going to not quite fit in with the theme of tonight and what we're going to have going and what we're going to be talking about tonight. But it's something that just struck me. There's been some YouTubers that keep saying that that Summer Wells is not the only case that TBI has. While this is true, it's not the only case. There is not just one TBI office in the state of Tennessee. Leslie Earhart is assigned to the one in Johnson City, which covers pretty much northeast of anything and everything east of Knoxville, to be honest. But there is more than one TBI office in Tennessee. Summer Wells is the biggest case that Johnson City has going. Real Rockin' Robin, thank you for coming in. Thank you very much. I appreciate this. I was sitting in and had watched a little bit of another stream earlier, and we're not going to be long tonight. I'm not going to hog up a bunch of your time tonight. I'm actually planning on doing this in two separate videos. But it ate me up enough today that I had to hit that go live button. What we're going to talk about ate me up enough today that I just couldn't keep my mouth shut anymore. Otherwise, I was going to go find a spot in the woods that nobody else was going to hear and see me, and I was going to go scream. It was eating me up that much. It was eating me up that much that I went on a mad and it's going to be an odd statement. Women, please, you'll understand what I mean. I went on one of those burst of energy cleaning sprees where you had to scrub something, you had to clean something because they had so much that angry energy that the best thing to do was take it out on something, then clean something. So I went and cleaned my bathroom before I went live today. It's just so infuriating. Rockin' Robin, the Oreo, BB Diamond, you ladies, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You just Carrie, I know Carrie. Yep, eyes are brown. Ladies, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I know Cosplay, who's not saying it, is probably just laughing because she does the same exact thing. So I'm going to include her as one that does the same. Teresa Nelson, thank you for coming out. Stick around for a while. Don't go run off. Just had that ball of energy that I had to go and do something because it wasn't going to do me any good to keep that anger all bottled up in me. Dolores Hayes, thank you very much. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yep. You have that ball of energy that you got to find something creative or something worth doing to get it out of your system, to get it free. Otherwise, you're just going to be in that miserable, I can't take it out on anybody. I got to keep it balled up in me, and it's just no good. It just does no good to you. We're going to be taking a look at a website that we kind of don't talk about. I ignore the media manager most of the time. In the background, you can ask my mods. I laugh at the things he says because it also goes back to what was said about 2 months ago when they came out and said that the website, the Wells Find Summer Wells website, severs its ties with the Wells family. It no longer speaks for the Wells family. And we called it at that time what it is for what it is. They had to sever those ties publicly to avoid the gag order. Because the gag order, since they were representing the Wells family, was going to have to shut down. Yes, Real Rock and Robin, you're exactly right. Most of the time, it is laughable, free comedy. Yep. You want a comedy show? Just go look at their Facebook. You want to humor yourself? You want to have that moment of, I can't believe they said that. Just go look at the Find Summer Wells Facebook page. Forgive me a second here. I accidentally closed the Find Summer Wells Facebook page. So just take me a second here to pull it back up. I have a few things saved. One of the things I have saved is TBI press release. And it's the TBI news alert, is that they deemed it. Amber Alert update, Summer Wells, June 18th, 2021. And that's the video we watched just a moment ago. And the other thing is 2 recent posts come from the Find Summer Wells website. The first one we're going to get into that in just a second, BB Diamond. Thank you for asking that. BB Diamond, you're yep. Truth finder. You're right on the nose. Yes, Carrie. Absolutely. Carrie has actually been on it from the get-go with saying there's something strange or something odd about the media manager. And of course, everybody knows who the media manager is. And who the media manager or media manager is mispronounced as being. So we're going to take a look at this. And please understand that if you were watching Lip Lock No More a little while ago, we may touch on some things, but there's some things I think that were glazed over or not caught that need to be pointed out. And if Carrie, if you will, because I'm calling you out specifically on this because I know you have my warning. Can we get the DVSA warning, please? Hello, Miss Justice. Happy Easter to you. Thank you, Carrie. Trigger warning. This may contain discussions of SADV, violent crimes, and adult language. If you are a victim of SADV, violent crimes, we stand with you. Just be aware that the information that we talk about may be triggering, may hit you on a different level than those that don't know about the subject matter and what is being talked about. Because those that have experienced this, unfortunately, will. And bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to make this full screen, everybody, or as best as I can. Just so everybody knows where I am getting this from. It is the official Wells family page in transition. Summer Wells missing June 15th is Find Summer Wells at Find Summer Wells. It is on Facebook. And no, it is not, although it describes itself as being news personality. This letter that we're going to look at is supposed to be a warning to people that broadcast information about Summer Wells on YouTube and other social media platforms. The YouTubians who have channels that may end up being taken down if you, plural, even slightly continue to accuse the Wells of child trafficking, describe the house as a dungeon, or pulsate out any verbal garbage that abuses the ears and the heart and hearts of the Wells children who will hear it. Well, we're going to stop right there, and I have to agree with what Liplock No More So said this morning or a little while ago. If you're the Wells' caseworker, you need to be going into making sure they don't start playing around on YouTube and things like that, because the people that are being this is directed as are speaking the truth. And we will continue on. Pick up right here where it says, hearts of the Wells children who will hear it, regardless of how fluidly. So we can not only speak well, but what we say is liquid. It is presented. At the least, your channel will be shut down. Furthermore, what is done has been reported. You have become the digital child abusers. You have become the digital woman beaters. Again, my apologies, ladies, if you are a victim of DV. I apologize. But this is not my writing. This is what Tim Mullins, the media manager, wrote. It has been enough that you digitally beat on another man's wife, or you use her for self-glory. But after all this time, to continue to have no respect for the children is intolerable. We're just going to stop right there. I'm not going to go a step further until we take a look at exactly what he's trying to say when he is saying that you are digital abusers. This is a term that I have never heard of until today. Never. WebMD is one of the two sources that I found on this. An article that goes back to 2020, November 2020, if you look at the byline. The words domestic violence, DV according to YouTube terms, tend to prompt images of physical intimidation and attacks. But some of that abuse has taken a 21st century turn. In our highly connected world, abusers can use technology against victims to monitor, threat, harass, and hurt them. They may install spyware on victims' phones, impersonate them on social media to humiliate them, or give children electronics that can reveal their location even after after kids have fled with an abused parent. Technology has really become a large part of everyone's lives, says Rachel Gibson, a senior technology safety specialist with the National Network to End Domestic Violence. She does good work. She's working for an organization that's trying to have a noble cause. I'm going to skip down just a little bit here. Bear with me 1 second here. I'm going to try to find that. In no uncertain terms, and I'm not reading this from the website, I'm just actually trying to look up some information here from a different website. In no uncertain terms do I want it to minimize in any sort of shapes or form or way. But what Tim Mullins and this information that I've just read for you is saying that we're trying to redefine what harassment is into being abuse. Think about this for a second. If a YouTuber who goes out there and tries to put out information about a touchy subject as we are tonight, because of it being sensitive, and as I warned, it may be sensitive, maybe a little bit too much for some people, but you'll understand what this is about before anybody else is, if this happened to you. They're redefining harassment either over the internet or in person, or whether it be at a workplace. Well, no, it wouldn't be at a workplace. It would be in your personal life as a DV incident. Before I continue on, I'm going to stop for a second and say hello to some people. As I see they came in. Hello, Maggie B. Thank you very much. Hello, ICU. Hello. I know there's somebody else that came in that I didn't say hello to. I think I have everybody. Nope. Katerina Rostova. Thank you very much for coming in today. 120 acres. Thank you. See, I knew I forgot somebody. Pit Mom. Hello. How are you as well? Canadianus. Thank you. Pink Butterfly. You're not late. You're not horribly late. Don't worry, Pink Butterfly. You can catch up quick. So what he and this new definition, the new redefining, means that if you're on YouTube and you dox somebody or if you are had the need to look up information on somebody or for something, which can include your current girlfriend or wife or husband, your ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, ex-husband, ex-boyfriend, whatever. I'm sorry. They're stretching the definition too far. They're stretching the definition too far. Harassment is harassment. If it crosses the line into physical contact, then yes, you have a situation where it can be DV, SA, or whatever the outcome is of this. Hello, Rain. Thank you for coming out. I'm not downgrading it. I'm not degrading what it was. I'm saying that they're stretching the definition too far. Maggie B, hello. How are you doing this evening? That might not be a popular opinion, but that is the truth of what's going on. They're trying to redefine something as what it is not. When the truth of the matter is, and it doesn't even apply to this case, what he's talking about right here, right now, does not even apply to what is the situation. This that I've highlighted right here, this is what applies to Summer Wells. Tennessee Code Title 39, Criminal Offenses 39, subsection 15, subsection 10401. Child abuse and child neglect or endangerment. Any persons who knowingly or other than by accidental means treats a child under the age of 18 years of age in such a manner as to inflict injury commits a Class A misdemeanor, provided, however, that the abused child is 8 years of age or less. The penalty is a Class D felony. Uh-oh. Does anybody know how to get a hold of Don Wells ulcer? Because I'm sure that's flaring up right now if he's in my audience. And if you know who he is from other channels, you know exactly who I'm talking about in that. Because Don Wells does not want to commit another felony. The abuse of a child less than 8 years old or less, it turns into a Class D felony. Crime Lines and Lies, thank you very much for coming out. Yeah, Rock and Robin, I do also. I think the reactions from Don Wells' ulcer sometimes are the best. Just the fact that he has a little flame emoji he throws up every once in a while and just says, just for the ulcer to flare up. It's the best. Fine Summer's Truth, thank you for coming out. Peas in a Pod, thank you for coming out. Canadian, yes. Canadian S, yes. I believe that's part of the reason. No, I don't believe he's still on probation, Maggie B. I don't believe he is on probation any longer. His jail term satisfied that when he went for DUI. But still, what has Donwell said? Oh no, that's a felony. He does his best to stay away from and knows when something is a felony, he needs to make sure his name is clear of it. Like so far clear of it that he's on the other side of a state or 2 states away or a state away. That he has his 7 alibis. So if CPS would remove all 4 children had Summer not gone missing, they could have both been charged with a felony. Yeah. Yeah. And it wouldn't have been 1 felony. It would have been 4. Amy, thank you for coming out tonight. Peas in a pod. Don knows the next strike gets him 25 to life. Absolutely. He knows he is on thin ice, and I mean extremely thin ice, that it cracks. You know, it's safe for a person to walk on 3 inches when ice gets frozen 3 inches thick. No, this is cracking beneath his feet. This has been cracking beneath his feet tonight. But after all this time, to continue to have no respect for the children is intolerable. Your opinions on your possible theories are vile. Poison. Whose effects will show up in the Wells children's lives. Well, Tim, to be honest, I still stand on, I believe that Summer going missing was a catalyst for that to change. That they're not going to be under the poison that is the parents. That were spoon feeding them the poison in a nurture versus nature way. You are not entitled nor have the credentials to know anything. Tim, you're wrong. You're wrong. You are so unbelievably wrong. Bear with me just a moment. I wasn't going to do something and I changed my mind now just the last minute here. Just a reminder, I did show the Section 107 Fair Use Act, but at the start of the live today. That still applies to what I'm about to play. If I can find it, my apologies. Like I said, I wasn't planning on playing this, so I'm having a difficult time finding it because I didn't have it set up or open already. So forgive me. But this is where Tim Mullins is wrong. And I mean wrong. The moment the call was made to 911, thank you, Carrie, for throwing that back up for me. The moment the call was made to 911, this no longer became an instance that was private to 110 Ben Hill Road. This became information and public interest. It made a major story on the news. It started off with statewide attention to Tennessee and rapidly spread to being nationwide and then international, that a 5-year-old little girl went missing. A 5-year-old little girl that had 6 descriptions within the first 24 hours. And the only one that's knowingly able to provide a stable information in the first 24 hours was Robin Lane, who had to happen to have a photo of a summer that was taken recently and started sharing it with the police that she came into contact with. In the first 24 hours, she went from being 4 years old to 6 years old, then to 5 years old. The description of the outfit she was wearing went from having pink pants and a pink top to she was wearing her bathing suit still, to where she was wearing a pair of shorts. And I don't remember what kind of top went with the shorts. And I probably do not have the correct order of how the outfits came out. 6 freaking descriptions. So no, Tim, you're wrong. This was always going to be a story that the nation and the world was going to hear about. Summer Wells was not the child of her parents. She became the child of the Tri-Cities overnight. If Liplock No More is here in my crowd tonight, please raise a hand, because you deserve credit for something. And a thank you. In a couple previous lives, I had said that about Summer Wells in June 15, 2021, that a clock had never, that should have, that the clock had been started that it should have never gotten started. I did not realize at the time that, in the times that I had said it, how emotional of a statement that really was, until I heard Liplock No More say it. And I want to thank her for quoting me on that, because I realized I got tore up when I heard it. Lorraine, thank you for coming out tonight. Jackie 11, thank you very much. Just taking a moment to thank people for coming out tonight that I may have mixed. Rod Miller Rickson, thank you very much. And if I have missed you, please do not take offense to that. It's I was in the middle of making a point, and it could have seen a screen name on my screen, and it go off the screen, and I can't find your name. Casper Friendly, thank you for coming out tonight. I did not realize how emotional that mentioning, saying that a clock was started that should have never have been started. So, Tim, I have to ask, since you go around accusing everybody and get other channels to join you in accusing, and even get the Wells themselves involved in accusing, what is your role? What is your deal, man? Because in every single thing that you accuse everybody else of, you're doing the exact thing. You're interjecting yourself in the dead center of an investigation involving a missing 5-year-old little girl. That's shady as AF in my book. Shady as AF. I found that page that I was trying to find a couple moments ago. I'm going to share it with you right now. joyfulheartfoundation.org. What is digital abuse? Signs to watch for and how to get help. Look at what they target this whole article towards. Teen dating violence, domestic DV. In the age of smartphone and smart homes, using technology to harass has become increasingly common. And yes, folks, I intentionally left out this word. You can read it for yourselves. Digital, or the use of technology to harass or intimidate anyone, can take many forms. It can occur at any stage of relationship and to people who of all ages, though it is especially common among teens and young adults who use technology more often. It can also occur outside the intimate partner relationship, such as experiencing harassment from someone on a dating website. Again, teens and young adults. Why are you trying to apply this to a 5-year-old girl? And I will go ahead and post a link for if anybody wants to read further on what this actually means into the chat right now. Bear with me just a second here. If you wish to read more on that, please It's pinned at the top of the chat right now. You're welcome to go ahead and take a look at that. There is more information on it. If it describes anything you are personally experiencing, this will be a good resource for you. If you're a teen or in your young 20s, this will be good information for you to watch out for these signs. And just so everybody can say, I showed you what I was reading from because I just realized it wasn't being shared. There you go. JoyfulHeartFoundation.org. And only thing I did was read basically the first 2 paragraphs. The first 2 paragraphs tells you all about who this is targeting and defines what the digital abuse means. Catch this. I did not pay attention to this before. 96% of teenagers who experienced digital abuse also faced psychological, physical, SA from their partner. Defines that digital abuse, like other abuse, is about control. I'm not disagreeing with what it's defining it as. I'm troubled that in the way that Tim is using it, he's trying to make this definition to be about harassing adults. But this doesn't even apply to this case. Tim, how did you get to that conclusion that this belongs to Define Summer Wells? Why are you interjecting yourself in the middle of a missing kid investigation? Which you yourself today, just today, folks, I said at the beginning of the show, this is going to be a two different stream thing. I'm going to jump to something else that we're going to come back to. We're going to bounce back and forth. I'm not trying to confuse anybody, but this was a post that was made on April 5th. And we're going to look at the post that Tim Mullins had made just today. Forgive my silence, folks, as I switch my screens around here. I appreciate everybody's patience with me. There's so much information that we have to make this 2 different streams, folks. Otherwise, I'd be here till 9, 10 o'clock trying to go into why these posts are so wrong. These posts are unbelievably wrong. Crime Lines and Lives, thank you very much. I appreciate that, Brooks. Really, I do. You're right. Absolutely. Crime Lines and Lives, you're exactly right. This has actually nothing to do with Finding Summer. This is all... I want to say lamenting from Tim Mullins, but I'm not even sure. It's just that odd, folks. It doesn't sit right with me at all. Let's take a look at these first two sentences. I apologize. I blew this up a little bit too big here. Again, we are still on the Find Summer Wells Facebook page. I saw that question. 120 acres. I apologize. I don't know what happened. I'll be taking that away in a moment. I don't know how that happened that I modded you. I didn't intend to do so, and I apologize. Hopefully that corrected that. I apologize, folks. I really do. Misclicked on something there. Okay, so the first two sentences of what Tim Mullins posted just today, and if you it's going to make you scream. Or at least when it made me want to scream. Summer, if you are alive, by God's grace, we are going to see you. If you are not, then we are promised by God to see you. That is what Easter is all about. Hey, Tim, you need to go back to theology classes. I don't claim to be a Christian, but I know that what Easter is all about has nothing to do with summer, has everything to do with the road to salvation for Gentiles. Let's pick a topic here. Is this about summer or is this about religion? Because again, I'm going to go back to what I was just saying a couple moments ago about that 911 call that made this not be an issue about 110 Ben Hill Road, but be an issue about what is in public domain. And that those that do happen to follow what happened to Summer Wells and pray, yes, I'm mentioning religion, no matter what your faith, your belief in a higher being is, you pray that Summer Wells is either rescued or recovered. Again, I ask, Tim, why are you putting yourself in the middle of an investigation of a 5-year-old little girl? It makes no sense. You're making no sense. It's as if you're becoming unraveled or unbound or whatever it is at the hinge. You're flying off the handle. Whatever. I don't care what phrase you want to use. All of them apply here because what you're saying makes no sense. It's out of place. You want to share a prayer for Summer's return on Easter? Great. Do that on your own page. This page is about Find Summer Wells. Why on Find Summer Wells are you talking about her not being alive? Why are you talking about it being a recovery, not a rescue? Folks, when I read this today, I literally had to stop right there. And I got stuck on those first couple sentences. You have been here all the time, resurrected and completely in charge of this whole journey Summer has set the world upon. Justice for every human will be done at your white throne judgment, when each person will learn if their decision of serving you or not serving you was correct. True justice will be then. No. You're not going to skip from talking about Find Summer Wells on Find Summer Wells's page to what the Bible refers to in Revelations as the rapture. I'm sorry, I don't even believe it's actually called in Revelations in Revelations the rapture. I believe that was in one of the books that John had previously written. Ever since the Old Testament, the book of Judges, where if you follow theology, men were empowered. And again, I apologize to ladies. I'm not trying to exclude you. I am putting this in the correct context of how the Old Testament of the Bible puts it. No sexist involvement or anything like that. It is just the way that the Old Testament refers it to be. That men were empowered to judge over other men. That system has never left the world. Justice will be done when charges are brought upon the persons that those that are allowed to bring indictments to who they believe is responsible for what happened to Summer Moon Utah Wells. Guys, remember, I said this is going to be a two-part thing. I'm jumping around on this, but we're going to tie this all together in the end. This is what infuriated me so much that I had to come live today. I had to come live today. Bobby Joe, thank you for coming out. Dumpling, thank you for coming out. Butterfly Kisses, if I missed you before, thank you for coming out. Janet Starnes, thank you. If you haven't already done so, everybody, please take a moment to hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. Butterfly Kisses, I'm going to have to agree with you. The more that I hear and I see from what's going on, I have always said, pretty much, I would say within the first 3 months, maybe 6 months, somewhere in about that time frame, that there was 4 adults that were going to be held responsible for something related to Summer Wells. Way back then, I was saying this was going to be a grand jury returning true bills, meaning the grand jury decided these people need to be held responsible. Yes. Who said what? You got it exactly right. They're not using religion the right way. Let me explain it to you this way. There's an old saying that goes around, and I don't know if it's biblical or not. So if you think, if you know a verse or whatever that says this or supports this, I'm not trying to be religious. There's a saying that goes that even the devil knows the Bible. He just doesn't believe the end of it. Even the devil knows the Bible, but he just doesn't believe the end of it. Is that what we're starting to see here? Is this really the end? Is this really starting to become the end? Is this really starting to become the revealing of what happened? Are we starting to find out what I've always said, which was that when they finally revealed the truth, we're not going to believe it because there have been so many lies and misinformation put out there. I honestly am starting to believe that. I honestly am starting to believe that we're starting to get information being spilled. In the past week, there have been 4 oopses. Oopsie-doo. By the Wells. If you watch some of the channels that I say are nothing but drama channels, they're not true crime channels. You found out that Grandma was taken home after the hospital. Patricia Mitchell, thank you for coming out tonight. You found out that, let's see, what was it? Don, I didn't write these down. I'd have to go back and look where I found them. Hello, after party with K&D. That must be Kimmy right there. Kimmy Poo. Yes, I see you. Yes, absolutely. You're starting to find out they're slipping, they're cracking. They'll sit there and say, no, that's what we said all along. It's not what they've been saying all along. Sorry, I felt like I'm going to sneeze. So if I get quiet all of a sudden, I promise I'll come right back. I'm just going to mute myself. They're cracking. And for as much as Don Wells can do his job with spackling, and he's done it wonderfully so far, to be honest, he's having to fill in the cracks. And it's like a dam that you're trying to fix with bubblegum. Bubblegum is not going to hold up forever against water, putting pressure on that crack and on that bubblegum. Aquahoma, thank you very much for coming out tonight. I see you in there. Exactly. You said what? Exactly. Oh, summer's pulling that dam down. And it's going to be a flood that you would not believe is going to happen. And that flood is going to drop people off right at the courthouse's footsteps. Summer Moon, Utah Wells. 6/15/2021, Rogerville, Tennessee. White female, blonde hair, blue eyes. 40 pounds, 3 feet tall. Last seen wearing gray pants, pink shirt, possibly barefoot. Reason we say possibly barefoot? Because nobody knows if she was even wearing shoes that day. And to have gone swimming where the swimming hole was, she should have had shoes on. Grand juries happen quarterly in Hawkins County. We don't know publicly when or who they're going to be bringing bills against until they're released that they have true bills. Usually at that point, locally, you hear all of a sudden that this person or that person was arrested on a true bill. Yeah, I think it's around the middle of April this month because Easter was the beginning, but it's usually within the first week of the month. So about the middle of the month would be correct. Hey, Carrie, do me a favor. If you drop after party as well, link for after party as well. Hello, WR. Thank you for coming out. Irene. What did Irene say? I don't see an Irene. Oh, Irene Klopper. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate you. That is a possibility. And I covered that angle under a video I did where I said, what if Mary was right? Because that's the first time I had heard anybody really seriously say anything about her possibly being sold. So I took a look at that under that video. You might want to take a look at that if you hadn't already. Kimmy and Dumplin, if you're still both in here, I actually enjoy your show. So I'm more than happy to get, hopefully some people will join or sub to you guys. You do cover true crime, but you also like to have a good time. So I actually enjoy being able to go over there and cut up a little bit where I take my channel a little more serious. So absolutely. Folks, I said I was going to cover this over 2 nights at the start because I think there's just so much information. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link in the chat here. People are welcome to join me. I will caution you, though, that I will put a damper on this, that creators have have a ability of a first spot if they wish to join me. That link that's currently at the top, I will put it into the description of this. If you want to take a look at that website that I posted there, it's about the digital definition of digital abuse. It does a better job of what Tim Mullins and WebMD does, in my opinion. So you will have that information as well. But there is a link if anybody wants to join me. It is now pinned at the top. Remember, folks, this is my first reaction on this. I'm going to get deeper into this, and I'm going to go. We're going to have another live. I'm going to say Tuesday, and it's going to go much deeper into what was going on with these 2 articles that are on the Find Summer Wells website, because I believe there's information there. Maybe not so much information, but there's something going on that needs to be looked at, and especially Tim Mullins. So I'm definitely trying to beat down the trail of finding out why Tim Mullins is putting out these weird posts at this point. Carrie, thank you very much. Yes, absolutely. You guys are awesome and amazing in the chat. I appreciate you. If you don't want to join me on the live, that's fine. I'm more than welcome. I'm still going to hang with you for a little bit longer here and answer some questions. I kind of have an agreement with another creator that we don't tread on each other. We work around each other's schedules, and they're about to go live in about 15 more minutes. So I'm going to be wrapping this up in about 10 more minutes, but I want to give anybody a chance to join me on panel or ask questions that they may not have been answered or don't believe they have been answered yet. Dumpling, you and I agree. I believe it was an accident that's being covered up. I'd lean towards more it being something happened at Priceless with the heat of the day, it being heat related than anything else. But I believe this was accidental and is being covered up. Miss Justice, thank you very much. I will see you there as well. You know, I'm going to be tuning in. If you don't know who I'm talking about John Q. John Q is somebody I consider to be a day zero person. I don't have day one people where they join me on the very first day I went live. I have day zero people because they encouraged me to start a channel when I had not even considered to have a channel. I had 4 or 5 people that encouraged me to start my own channel. That's what they get called day zeros, and I work with them and around them when they go live. Janet Starnes, I believe that has everything to do with what happened in October. That they were there, and they were. I don't disagree that they would. That could have very well been shutting down the case. Related to being October from the pew-pews being in the house that should have never been there. And because of that, I believe it had everything to do with that. Them closing it and then Summer going missing the next day looks like a coordinated timing. I'm not going to say it's planned. I'm not going to say it's anything, but the report of her going missing looks a little too coordinated to me. Isa Brown, we do appreciate the compliment. Gary Lawson, so are you and RJ. I love and respect the compassion you get of you guys. Thank you for all you have done and you're doing for Summer. Absolutely. This is all about finding Summer Wells, whether it's recovery or rescue. Happy Easter, Dumpling. Thank you for coming out. I personally believe this is rescue. This is not recovery any longer. But her brothers, the community, those that have followed Summer Wells, and the moment that Summer Wells became in the public domain, everybody deserves the closure. I will agree with Tim that we may not need to have to hear all the details, but we want the closure of knowing that Summer has been found. Every single child that goes missing deserves to have somebody fight for them when the parents won't. When you don't have the example of what Brandy Neal did, and Brandy, if you're for some reason, I've never noticed you in my chat room before. If you are listening, I hope they find Monkey very soon. But every single parent that has a missing kid has to go through a torturous time period of scrutiny. A torturous time period of scrutiny where they have to have their details of their lives put in public. And you either do one of two things. You do what Brandy Neal did, and you embrace it and say, let's get this over with. I have nothing to do with it. You ask as many questions as many times as you need to. You're going to get the same answer. I am innocent of what happened to my child. Or you have on the extreme opposite end, you have the Wells, who have made nothing but a mockery of what they happened to their daughter. So go again, Tim Mullins, what are you doing, man? Are you trying to put yourself in the middle of the bullseye to make yourself end up being a person that's charged? Do you think it's going to somehow bring you a media deal because you're so closely involved? Because what you don't realize is that you're standing on top of a pyre, a wooden bonfire all set up. And that fuse keeps getting shorter by every day. Eventually, that bonfire is going to catch fire. Cheryl Kelly, thank you for coming out. I do appreciate it. Happy Easter to you as well. Lone Star Mama, thank you for coming out. No, I don't believe there was an abduction either. Not at all. You keep saying and threatening that you're going to take these channels down and you're going to take people to court and you're going to go and the TBI knows, the FBI knows who everybody is. Well, TBI can knock on my door at any time if they have questions. FBI can knock on my door at any time if they have questions. Summer Moon, Utah Wells, born 6/15, went missing 6/15/2021. A clock that started that should have never been started. Rogersville, Tennessee. White female, blonde hair, blue eyes, 40 pounds, 3 feet tall. Last seen wearing gray pants, pink shirt, possibly barefoot. Please contact 423-272-7121. That's the Hawkins County Sheriff. Or 1-800-TBI-FIND. That is TBI's tip line. If you have information leading to the whereabouts of Summer Wells, do not call based on what anybody comes on YouTube or any other social media platform and gives their thoughts. We honestly don't know. We theorize and we make sure our information sounds solid that we put out. Guys, I'm going to end it here. I want to thank you very much for coming out. It is going on 8 o'clock. At the end of my streams every single night, I say, do you know where your kids are tonight? No matter how old or how young they are, please send them a text message. Give them an extra hug. Make sure they know that somebody loves them, because it could make the world of a difference to them for today. I will be back on Tuesday night. I will be going over the second part and getting to the conclusion of what I believe these postings that Tim Mullins has been making. I really mean. but it disturbed me enough today that I had to start tonight. Thank you for listening to Conversations Living Room, everybody. I am RJ, and I'm out.